our Disney-MGM Studios tour with our symbol. Take a look high up in the sky on your left and you're going to see our award-winning Earful Tower. Now the tower was built after the same design that Walt Disney had in his Burbank studios back in 1939. Except we've added the innovation of a huge set of Mickey Mouse ears.
Hello, I'm Disney Dave and welcome to my channel. Here you can find things all Disney and Walt Disney World. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell icon to be notified when new content is uploaded.
Yes, only I'll show you where to stop. It's the Disney-MGM Studios Backlot Tour. We're going to begin your tour right here at our special effects water tank. To get an idea of how this unique set is used, please watch the overhead monitors. Tide Adventure. That tidal wave is created by large, wonderful dome tanks, which rolled over scaled-down model of an ocean liner. Here at the Disney-MGM Studios, we have our own large, wonderful dome tank and our own mechanical marvelous pilot house. It serves as a full-size recreation of what we find on an actual tugboat. It also serves as a full-size model for our miniature tugboat, the Misfortune. And speaking of misfortunes, let's meet our two volunteers. Hello, what's your name?
Neil.
Hi, Neil. Nice to meet you. And what's your name?
Gary.
Oh, Gary. It's been real nice knowing you. Why don't you go ahead and follow my assistant, Dylan? Step aside and spin the wheel of misfortune. Now, Neil and I are going to create a storm sequence using some heavy-duty mechanical effects. Before we do all that, we're going to check on our skipper. Hi. How are you? All right, well, you're doing a lot better once you put that hood up. And pull this string real tight. Trust me on this one. Now we're seeing we get the Dylan Ross pilot house to simulate movement on the high seas. So you can see we're gleeful. Going to add some rain. And in a moment I'll also add some wind. But I need all of you to do the action. On the count of 3, I want everybody. And I do need everybody in their loudest voice to be able to dump it. When they do, Neil, that'll be your cubicle that's over right here. All the way to your left. Okay, is everybody ready? All right, 1, 2, 3. And cut. That was great. Now we're going to take the scene we just shot and edit it together with footage of our miniature tugboat, which was shot in tank jumping. Like this. Recreating a full-scale naval battle at sea can't really take themselves funded. That's why we use miniatures just like the ones you see here in our tank. So we had a few ways. But if those ways are too large, they're almost like a toy floating in the bathtub. To get around these problems, we use large fans to create very small, fast-moving waves. Then we slow everything down to give the scene its proper scale. Fighting smoke, sound effects, and dramatic music, our battle sequence is almost complete. Now we need a few more things. Like explosions, which are provided by underwater air cannons. A brave and talented actor provided by Neil. And a highly skilled special effects expert, Gary, who just recently retired from acting. Now, Neil, it's your turn. You'll be playing the role of Captain Duck, commander of the SS Totally Sinkable in our action-packed adventure, All Hands on Deck. Are you ready, Captain? Here's your scene. You're out of control. In the deepest, the darkest region of our special place, want to take one off in the distance. You spot an enemy battleship. Spot it over here, Captain. And you're running torpedoes straight through the battle section. Fire one, Captain. Nice shot. Unfortunately, not too far. attention, fire torpedoes. They're coming closer and closer, Captain. You're a dead duck. Now let's check out the big bullet and performance in the super slow motion. You two are great agnostics. It's been a real blast working with the both of you. How about a thunderous round of applause for a very great talent volunteer. And this concludes the special effects portion of your Backlot Tour. If you turn to your left to go down the ramp through our called warehouse.
Now, my name is Donnie, and I will be your tour guide for today. However, I'm only part of the team because I couldn't be doing it without Jackson sitting in the cab in the front. So everybody say hello, Jackson. All right. Well, what better way to begin our Disney-MGM Studios tour with our symbol? Take a look high up in the sky on your left, and you're going to see our award-winning Earful Tower. Now, the tower was built after the same design that Walt Disney had in his Burbank studios back in 1939. Except we've added the innovation of a huge set of Mickey Mouse ears. The tower itself stands a lucky 13 stories tall, and each ear weighs over 2.5 tons. Now that's 28.5 foot in diameter, which translates to a hat size of 342. And the reason why we know that is because our driver Jackson likes to climb up every holiday season and top the tower off with a big red stocking cap. You can tell by the vehicles they drive. Looks like Herbie the Love Bug trying to beat traffic is gone home early. And coming up on your left, you're going to see a brand new building here at the Disney-MGM Studios, and that's the Walt Disney Feature Animation Florida building. It's a big name, and it's also a big building, and it houses all of our artists who just finished producing Mulan, and will be coming out in the summer of 1999 with Tarzan. And as well as these beige buildings coming up on your left as well, they're also called bungalows. And they house the production teams who use our studio facilities, as for instance, in bungalows 1 and 3 and sound stages 1 and 3 is the production team for Mortal Kombat Conquest. Based on the designer sketch, and coming up on your right, you're going to see some of those sketches up on the wall. And then our teams of seamstresses and tailors goes to work to produce thousands of costumes each year. And coming up on your left, you're going to see some of those costumes as from the movie Ransom. We have Mel Gibson and Rene Russo's costumes. From 6 Days, 7 Nights, we have Harrison Ford's costume. From Disney's Flood, we have Ben Affleck and Steve Buscemi's costumes. One more interesting thing about that, check out the hair pieces they're wearing. Up to 180 artists design and manufacture costumes for our Walt Disney World needs, which makes us the largest working wardrobe department in the world. Well, coming up on your right, you're going to see a very special Delta L-1011. Now, this was a real plane used by the Delta fleet for about 10 years until we purchased it from them, cut it up, split it in half, and ever since then, they haven't wanted it back. But we've been able to use it for such films as Passenger 57 and Quick Change, starring Bill Murray and Gina Davis. Now, they've created everything from Pat Sajak and Vanna White's Wheel of Fortune wheel to Hulk Hogan's Thunder in Paradise. In fact, even the exterior of the CH shop was used at Honey, I Blew Up the Kid for Sterling Laboratories. Well, one of the greatest things about movies is they can take you to so many different places. From the house next door, to a dangerous canyon, and to the bottom of the ocean. And if we wanted to go to the bottom of the ocean, then we'd head for that green tent coming up on your left. And that tent houses our special effects water tank, which allows us to shoot in a more controllable and safer environment. And the reason we have a tent is that just in case it starts to rain, all our swimmers are kept dry. Maybe you all thought, hey, I'd love to live at the Walt Disney World, but before you pack your bags and your dog, I want you to take a look through these houses, and I mean through different neighborhoods, so all 8 of these houses are built to reflect different styles of American architecture. As for instance, this brown house coming up on your right, number 242, was used in Jim Varney's Ernest Saves Christmas, if you know what I mean. And that was the first feature filmed here at the Disney-MGM Studios back in 1988, just before we opened the park up to guests in '89. Now, production crews have to travel to so many different places, and they have to deal with things they have little or no control over, like crowds, traffic, noise. So they prefer to shoot right here in our back lot, and that's why you might recognize some more of these houses. As for instance, this beige one coming up, it's the same house that Dorothy, Sophia, Rose, and Blanche lived for 7 seasons on the award-winning series the Golden Girls. Now, we shot the exterior shots right television. Now, what you didn't see is that the Golden Girls live right next door to the Disney Channel's Adventures in Wonderland. And that's this blue house also coming up on your left. And another amazing fact about that is that Alice lived right across the street from the Emptiness sitcom exterior house. Now, the last home coming up on our residential street is not one of your typical suburban homes. It's because it's the treehouse from swinging friend George lives with his faithful butler named Mamie and his dog Shep, and that's the Shep there hiding in the trees. Interesting thing about Shep is it's actually an elephant. We're going to be passing our New York City streets, and I don't want to tell you anything now because if I told you everything now, I wouldn't have anything to say later, so I'll just wave to everybody in the back of the cars. And now that's taken up 5 seconds of my time, and 5 seconds of your time, I'll tell you what I love about movies, and that happens to be the action films. But whatever happens to those planes, trains, ships, boats from Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, these old vintage sedans are from Warren Beatty's Dick Tracy. The Black Speedboat is from 100 Lives of Black Jack Savage. If you haven't checked it out yet, at Epcot, Universe of Energy, that's Bill Nye the Side Sky's Yellow Helicopter. From director Steven Spielberg's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. These are some military vehicles used in the movie, including that tank, the same tank Sean Connery and Harrison Ford rode on. The 3 trucks bearing the Acme Waste Disposal logos on it are from the live-action hit 101 Dalmatians. These blue sedans right after it are from the movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You might not recognize it, but then you put it together with the infamous Bitmobile and you got it. We also have the Cloverleaf Trolley Car from the film, and the interesting thing about the trolley car is that it's just a modified city bus. These science fiction spaceships are from the movie Starship Troopers. The blue helicopters from the movie Blue Thunder. The vintage planes are from Disney's The Rocketeer. That bobsled is from Cool Runnings. These spaceship cars are from the movie Blade Runner. These crates bearing some pipes inside are from the movie Crimson Tide. From Gone Fishing, we have the blue car. And from the movie Armageddon, we have the styrofoam asteroids. They're made of styrofoam, folks, so I don't know what everybody was so scared about. And you can also look way across the street to the residential street and see the architectural designs that were put to make them up. And now we look like we're entering one of the largest standing sets here in our back lot, and I'm going to check with Jackson here to see if we have clearance. Okay, well, it looks like we do have clearance here. We're going to be able to go right inside. Now, this is what I was telling you about earlier, folks. The film crew is shooting some special effects out here today, so we're going to have to, sneak in as quickly as possible so we do not disturb the shoot. Time is money. And they may be on a break right now. I don't see any of the guys hanging around. Well, looks like we're going to be going over a bridge, folks, so I do want to remind everybody to please stay still. Now, that is a long time for one particular set, but considering how long Mother Nature took to build the real one, I don't think we did so bad. Well, looks like Jackson's going to be stopping right here in the middle. We're pretty lucky, folks. We're actually going to be getting inside to see this. You might recognize it later when you're watching TV or some films. Now, to see many of the camera crews, there's Jerry, our cameraman. He's up there walking around on the platform. Now, what they're actually doing today is testing some special effects, and I'll tell you some little known behind-the-scenes facts about the canyon. Now, they do have their cameras planted right on top of the canyon. And the water you see coming down there isn't from real rain that's been coming down today, but it's actually a simulated rain effect. There you go. Hey, thanks a lot, Jerry. Simulated rain effect that they've been testing out here. Interesting thing about the rain is that it's being shot out by high-powered rain spouts. And you can see that it's not really touching the truck in the middle of the canyon because motion picture cameras only see in 2 dimensions. That means we don't actually have to wet the entire... Jackson, do they know we're in here? Jerry, we have a shuttle. Jerry, we have a shuttle in here. Jerry, we have a shuttle in here. Hang on, everybody. Gotta figure out what's going on. Hang on. think so. No, I do not think so. I think we're going to try to get out of here as quickly as possible. For 12%, we're all clear to go. Whew. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. If my bad acting hasn't given it away by now, you probably figured out that this is Catastrophe Canyon. That's right. All I need to know is, what do you folks think about it? All right. Well, now that we saw the catastrophes, let's take a look behind the scenes to see how they actually work. And the canyon itself is just a steel structure covered in wire mesh, and that wire mesh is World Resorts. And on behalf of your driver, Action Jackson, and me, your tour guide, Donnie, I want to thank you all for joining us here at the Disney-mgm Studios Backlot Tour. Don't forget to take everything you hold dear.
This is cool.
Lover's car. That's right.
And wherever the stories were set, from Ireland to the battlefield to the west, this theme never been.